Little Caesars changed the game, bro.
They did.
Little Caesars changed. That's the most shot of shit.
Hey, Chewy Blood. They want you on the podcast, bro. Look, he Mexican, bro. You gotta put him on.
Am I interrupting your depression? I'm sorry.
This week's episode of The Voice Party is brought to you by Big Boy Raps. Get your car wrapped by some of the most experienced and skilled in the Bay. Big Boy Raps, where the big boys play.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Voice Party Podcast, brought to you by Big Boy Raps, as you heard in the intro. I'm here with I got that NPR voice right now. I'm here with Joaquin. Joaquin, tell us how you're doing today.
Fantastic, actually.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, I got nothing. I'm just glad to be here in another episode of the Voice Party.
Cool.
We have some amazing guests.
We'll get to the guests in a minute. What's up with your shirt, dude?
It's our disclaimer from the beginning of the episodes.
The views and opinions of our guests in the Voice Party and Phil. Why do you have to wear that, man?
The reason we have the disclaimer is because when we first started this show, we had like 3 guests who all told like rape jokes, and then afterwards was like, hey, can y'all cut that out? So we were like, maybe we should add a disclaimer just to cover our ass, and then I had to add my name to it.
Because you just say shit without thinking about it.
Because apparently people are triggered by a conservative viewpoint. Oh my God, Phil said blame the person, not the gun. Oh my God, Phil said gender's biology, not a feeling. Won't someone think of the children? So I had to fucking add my name to it because heaven forbid someone thinks different.
Well, that's that. There's that.
That's fair.
Yeah. You bring us to a good point. Introduce yourself today. Who are you guys? And what's your relation to Phil? And already you're not.
You already know me.
You're already shaking your head.
Yeah, because
she's like, I gotta live with that.
I know. And it's hella true. I always have to tell him, like, dude, shut the fuck up. Because it's embarrassing.
What's embarrassing?
I mean, liberals are wimps. They're not going to start a fight. They're going to scream and then cry in their safe space.
Why does it sound like you're talking to us through a walkie-talkie?
Because I got my little shotgun mic here. Because, yeah.
Oh my God, he's special now.
What? Aren't you hella liberal, though? Weren't you hella liberal at one point?
I used to be when I was a kid, and then when I saw how crazy California is so far to the left, I can't get behind this shit. This is some kind of like extreme liberalism that I can't support. It's driven me further to the right.
It's true. When liberals get upset, they engage in online discourse. When right-wingers get upset, they storm the Capitol and end up committing treason.
Aren't both sides both wacky, though?
They are. There's extremes on both sides. There's crazy people on both sides.
Okay, but you gotta live with the liberals.
I gotta live with the liberals, and so I'm like,
if you're in the red state, you be having these same thoughts about it.
Well, there's some things I'm liberal about. There's some things I'm conservative about. When I look at both of them,
is that true?
Sometimes.
See, I'm glad. I need her here for some of this shit. When he spews a lot of these ideas, like, wait, is that true? I gotta check in. Like, can you verify?
Some things I can. Some things I'm just like, no, I don't think so, dude. That's not how shit works.
Wait, you don't agree with him on a lot of stuff?
Yeah, we are. I don't. To be honest with you, like, I don't even know how we even got together. Like, because we are so fucking different. For real. Like, okay. I like to like.
The way you worded that was kind of like.
For example, like, when it comes to music, he listens to that white people shit, like the fucking like rock and all that shit.
Whoa! I listen to that shit too.
Because I grew up in the Bay, so like all the shit that I listen to is all like Bay shit and like hella like rap and ratchet shit. And then I let Caitlin listen to that, and then he's all like,
"You listen to that, Caitlin?"
Yes, I do.
He's like, "Don't let Caitlin listen to that." And I'm like, "She's gonna fucking know."
I already grew up with it.
Wait, let's start with your names. We got right into it.
Yes, we did. You already know her though.
You already know Caitlin, but introduce yourself.
Returning guest Caitlin.
Teresa, and you're Phil's wife. Congratulations.
Yeah. That's my sister-in-law right there.
What the fuck? Yeah. No, really. How's it been like since you guys got married?
Well, it was kind of weird because like we got married, right? And then like right after we got married, we had like legit like one day together. And then it was like,
haven't seen him since today.
Go fuck yourself, because he had to go to work, and so he was gone for a week.
Yeah.
And then so that was the thing. And then he came back like a week later, and then we argued about the same shit. Like,
So you get married, and then you don't see your wife for a whole week.
And then the first thing we do is argue.
How's that feel?
So when we first got together, like, we're both very stubborn people, and so we would just scream at each other. I mean, to the point now we're like, I know she ain't going anywhere. She knows I can't go anywhere. Like,
Christ.
you can't afford rent with one income in this state. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
So whenever we argue, my goal is just, I'm gonna have fun. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. So
He is really funny when they argue.
What the fuck? You say this and she's like, yeah.
He'll say stupid shit like right in the middle of an argument just to make me laugh, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
It's hard to be good when you're laughing.
That's adorable. Yeah, that's
I don't know why that.
That's
that
actually
cracks me
sensible,
up.
man. If you can
Yeah.
make your partner laugh, like no matter what, that's gonna keep the relationship going.
How long after your wedding day was the first fight? Like how long after that?
I think we fought on our wedding day.
We did fight on our wedding day. We did.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it really bad?
No, it was more like bickering though, but it was just because like it was kind of, it's stressful, like having to get everything done. And like,
Is it weirder now that like you're married to each other? Like, is it weird? Like we're not just boyfriend girlfriend?
no, because
I mean, you were already living together.
we
though.
were already living together. Plus, like, it kind of helps when you've known someone for hella long. Like, I've known Phil since I was 14.
Has he been crazy? Has he gotten crazier
So it's
over
been
the
like
years?
20 something years.
Has he gotten crazier over the years?
No, he was way crazier in high school.
Definitely has.
You were crazier.
He's gotten saner.
Yeah, he's gotten
Holy
like
shit.
more, like he would do like hella stupid shit. Like he would always get.
Back when he was liberal, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, well, look, Phil. To his credit, is one of the.
This is the roast of Phil Spooner, just so you know.
He is one of the bravest performers I've ever met, and I often wonder to this day why
What do
he
you mean
retired from
performers?
being.
Oh, wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
not just. I mean, not just the physical stunts. The physical stunts were wild, but this guy could also act, and I'll never understand why he completely get why he left the front of the screen. But it's one of those internal things that he says he doesn't like it. He just doesn't like it. But man, if he wasn't good at it, I'd
No,
tell
but I'm
you.
talking about like the crate. Like
like jumping off.
I'm
the
just
roof.
I'm trying to understand how
broke
Phil
his
was
leg.
before.
There was a match where he jumped off the roof, and I think I'm not going to name the wrestler he was up against. I don't even remember if he hit the guy on the way down, but after he came down, he just went, I jumped off the fucking roof. It was like the most adrenaline induced. That was Phil.
How old were you?
When I say brave, I mean brave.
How old were you when you jumped off a roof?
Like 14, 15.
14, 15?
Yeah, I used to backyard wrestle. That's how the whole video production thing started.
Yeah.
Because I would film all of our wrestling stuff and edit that. And then
You
it
were
kinda
around for
snowballed
that?
into this.
I would watch it, and then I would like afterwards. I'd always tell him, "Your mom should whoop your ass," because he'd always have to go to the doctors and shit, and then like he had to wear like cast.
Look at you
He
now,
broke his
married to that guy.
What the fuck? Yeah.
He's definitely calmed down since then.
Yeah.
Luckily.
But see, that's the thing though. That's why he needs, like Martin
Yeah.
and Rigo
Yeah.
and Carlos to like
Balance him out.
Yeah, to like tell him like, wait a minute, dude.
They're like
No,
creamer
no.
to his dark coffee personality.
Well, like he's been married to Martin the longest because they know
That's
each
true.
other for like hella long. So like we already know your ass ain't going nowhere, Martin. We know where you live. You can't argue with us. We'll go over to your house. We'll settle this.
And you guys have known each other just as long.
Almost.
So you've seen it
Almost.
from the beginning. You've
Yes,
seen their,
I have, and it's a beautiful thing, man. Like to have known folks for so long, and then to watch them become a couple, and to try this marriage thing out. It's not easy.
and
Right,
being with him as long. The bickering is
The bickering ain't
is
start till
strong.
the
recent.
bickering happens with your friends of that long.
Right, the bickering didn't start till recently. Phil and I used to,
Can we talk about that?
we
Not-
got along
not
like
specifics.
peanut butter and jelly, man. It was, not that we don't get along now.
Can I mention
but-
that and not going into
Sure.
specifics?
Yeah, no.
Just before we started, we went on air right now. There was an incident which we were talking, we kind of missed it, but like I'm not gonna get into why or whatever. But it was like, Jesus Christ, man! I was like,
What the fuck? Just
What the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
I know you're still a little like eyes are a little red, and I know you're still a little,
Yeah.
So we're gonna like just
But
address
that's the
not
thing,
without
though.
saying. Okay, go ahead. Go
That's
ahead.
the thing though, like Phil likes to bring up the same fucking argument, dude. Like twice a week. Like I told you.
Don't
like
say
I told
specifics.
you.
Don't say specifics.
Like, I'm not naming specifics,
Okay.
but like me and him, like I told you, like legit, like we'll have the same fucking argument like at least twice a week, and I'm just like, shut the fuck up. And then Kaylin's like, oh no, and I feel so bad for her because she's like watching us argue.
Poor child.
And Kaylin's
Poor
like,
Mika.
Kaylin's like, oh no, time to walk away. And she'll like walk away, or she'll like turn on her headphones. Like
Phil, defend yourself here.
he can't, because he's
I mean, you
starts the shit. That's the
you
thing.
bring up old stuff all the time too.
Well,
this
yeah.
is couples
That's
therapy.
because-
I'm hosting.
That's because you
Oh,
start
that's
some
because
shit.
I start.
But
Right.
that's
Can we
the
not
thing, though.
argue, please?
See, that's the thing that you guys, but you know, because
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Latin women are crazy, and
Yeah,
so are
yeah,
Filipinos.
for sure.
We remember everything.
That's true.
We fucking remember everything, and we will
Everything.
fucking bring that shit up in the argument.
And not just me.
But like, let's say we'll argue shit back. Well, you remember back in 2007 when you said this, and I'm just like, isn't there a statute of limitations on this shit?
There isn't.
Now, what's
isn't.
worse? The long memory of sins past or the passive aggressive assault and sins recent? You ever been in the situation when you're talking to your girlfriend and everything seems fine even though you were 10 minutes late and you're like, all right, babe, kiss on the cheek, you go your separate ways, then you get a text message. I just think it's funny how, and there's nothing funny about the next of that bit.
So that's how you know you're in trouble. Whenever a girl starts a sentence with, I just find it funny that.
And I'm just like, look, you said we were good. I begged you to tell me
I know.
I was wrong.
I know. Sometimes people bring up old shit, and I'm not saying you do this, but maybe this is it. When like there's something else though, but they don't want to address that.
Yeah.
So then
so
you
yeah.
bring up. Do you think that's why maybe that happens?
I don't know. I don't really analyze myself.
In the end, we just want to like.
Phil, is
just
this
hurt
making
each
you
other's
uncomfortable?
feelings. That's what it is.
Is this making you uncomfortable?
So how have you been, Caitlin?
Okay, so look, we have both of them here. We just saw shit almost pop off right now, and I love that shit. But now I want to get the child's perspective. Do they fight us a lot?
A lot?
She blinked
Like every day, she knows.
You know what you just did? A version of a bull doing this when they're like, a lot. You know, they kick back dirt. And they're like, oh, you're about to get like, oh, yeah.
Okay, at this point, I just gave it up from when they fight. I just like continue doing what I'm doing, and when it's funny, I don't care. I will laugh.
She does laugh.
I don't care.
It's because Phil says stupid shit. That's what it is.
Like,
She can't help it.
You're talking about your mom and Phil, yeah.
Yeah.
Respect, yeah.
If I had to like compare our relationship to anything, we're kind of like Bert and Ernie.
Okay.
You know, I'm Ernie, obviously.
What the fuck?
I am not that mean. That's so fucked. But I do. I'm like. I'll admit. Like I have my ways of how like I like things and
Yeah.
do things.
Yeah.
And then he just fucking. He's just there, like fucking furniture, like just irritating.
Who's the meanest one?
I would definitely say I am.
You are the meanest?
Because in the end, my goal is to fucking hurt your feelings. I just want to see you cry.
Jesus Christ.
That's what it is. It sounds so fun.
I felt
You've
that.
been around this shit for 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah, he has.
What the fuck?
My therapist
Phil,
tells me that's why I've got PTSD.
I've never seen Phil look like the redder in any other episode, even when it was 100 degrees and we're recording. What's up, Phil?
His shirt's a little tight.
I honestly don't remember them fighting when we were younger.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Who does though? You
Right.
know? But okay. Speaking of the shirt, that was one thing. Like today was you mentioned you didn't approve of the shirt.
Because he's like very like opinionated, you know, and that's fine.
Which is why we love him.
But
Which is why we love him.
certain things like you need to keep that shit to yourself. Like no one gives a fuck. Like as fucked up as that may sound. Like
Really? You
dude,
think so?
I think people do care. That's the problem.
Well, the thing is,
that's why we have the shirt.
Well, the thing is, I get it. If you live with someone and you don't agree with their opinions and it always comes up,
Yeah.
that can probably.
Well, the thing is too for me, like, you know, like that's just one thing. Like I always tell them, like you're not supposed to talk about like anything like political or religious or about sex, because just those things are just
Taboo.
should be,
Well, I think what it is
I think in public, yes.
I think politics is more prevalent today than it was like when we were kids.
It wasn't a big deal back then.
Like, you know, when we were kids, it was like the Clinton scandal. That's kind of about it. That's all I really remember, being fucking 11 years old during the Clinton administration. But now with social media and the news and all this stuff, like, it's all politics. It's all politics all the time. So it's hard to escape it. Yeah. And when you hear some of these, like, wacky extreme right-wing ideals and these insane extreme left-wing ideals, and you're like, how the fuck could anybody agree with this? And it just feels like you're taking crazy pills because the world is just insane around you. It's hard not to talk about it.
It is, but I get not talking about it in public. And
like, especially in public,
because it makes people uncomfortable.
It does, and I'm like, dude, especially like when we walk around, like when we were fucking in San Francisco, in fact, that day that we were getting married, he said some shit, and like, you know, his grandparents, obviously they've known him since, you know, forevers. They just met him. you know, his grandma just giggles, and I'm just like, shut the fuck up, because I ain't fucking fighting nobody. Like, you know, because
like,
just
know
like,
when to say it.
Yeah, like know when to say that, like what to say.
That's why I never talk about, like, if we're talking about someone, let's say you and I are out in the street, and then we're just an example, we're talking about Corday. Right. And like, if we're in Richmond, you don't know who fucking knows him around us, and we're sharing like hella private shit. Like, that kind of stuff I don't do.
Right.
Like,
you want to,
like, hey, that doors. Motherfucker, he owes me blah blah blah.
Closed doors, always.
Yeah, and I agree with some topics too. Like right now, like there's a child prison. I won't mention the Roe versus Wade, like in specific. I don't know, like in detail. Like, you're gonna hear about it. I'm sure you know a lot about it.
I mean, I just
don't want to hear. I don't want you to hear it from me.
And you're in what grade?
I'm going into 6th.
Your teacher's probably going to cover that next year in your social science class.
They probably already did cover it, right?
Well, it's summertime, so. Well, I mean,
how do you feel
the recent
about
court thing,
like that kind of stuff being mentioned, like right now. Do you even censor that kind of thing from the news?
I don't really watch the news, to be honest with you. Okay. As like fucked up as that may sound.
But I'm pretty sure she hears about it.
But she's gonna hear about it. Yeah. I maybe watch the news maybe like once a month. Everything I know about the news, I read that shit off. Like, I'll be honest, I read that shit off of fucking Facebook. Yeah. Or there's like Cron 4.
Well, that's
like,
why all those news things, those news companies are losing viewerships already. Hella. Yeah. I mean, they're dropping like flies.
You know what really changed? I think the political discourse among adults in this country.
No,
the advent of CNN.
Oh, yeah.
All news, all the time. The first channel of its time. And you got to think they had to fill it with something. So they're like, all right, we'll cover the White House 24/7. Now, granted, even then, when it took off eventually,
the 80s?
The 80s.
Yeah.
Now, when it takes off eventually, you have mostly adults watching it. Kids have never, until recently, been interested in pot. Like as Phil said, the main thing he remembers was the Monica Lewinsky scandal. But I guarantee you that the news itself was running stuff about politics all the time. It just caught everybody's interest because it was so big. You know, adults are talking about it in front of kids, and it catches on. And I think some of it somewhat filtered down into like non-news settings. So. But now, because of social media, you have something that was once regulated for just adult consumption. Now everybody is exposed
on social media,
so right?
Like, it's everyone's.
There's no more just flicking the channel to keep the news off if your 10-year-old's in the room, or your 10-year-old just being disinterested. Now their screen has got stuff popping up that they're looking at, and they're getting absorbed into it. It's crazy. It's nuts.
Do you guys discuss all these topics in front of her?
I don't censor anything because I'm just like, dude, she's gonna fucking find out anyways. Yeah. So like for me, like I'm way more open with certain things with Kaylin, and then Phil's like, no.
Well, because I think, like we talked about this while we were setting up, like I have a real problem with how like kids are being sexualized at a much younger age. People use the term grooming, but it's like they're being taught all these things like are super young, like grade school, like 7, 8 years old. They're being taught about sex and sexual orientations and shit like that. And I don't think that's appropriate at all, especially when it's in a school. I think like reading, writing, arithmetic, fine. That should be taught in school. Everything else, leave to the fucking parents. It's not the teacher's job to parent the kids, and I think schools are kind of overreaching with what they're trying to teach kids, and it does kind of borderline feel like indoctrination, and we've seen it across the country where parents are kind of being outraged at the stuff their kids are being taught in school, and they're pushing back, and they're like, wait a minute, don't be teaching my kids stuff like this. Don't be telling my kids this. That's not okay. And so Florida has their bill, which everyone calls the Don't Say Gay bill, even though there's way more to it than that. California has one too. No one ever seems to bring up the California has one too. That's basically the same as Florida's. Ours is called the Parental Bill of Rights.
Isn't that just that they're supposed to sign off to?
Well, they have to have parental consent, which when I was a kid, we needed a permission slip just to watch the puberty video.
Yeah.
So the fact that now schools think it's okay to like teach 8-year-olds about sex, like I don't know how the fuck we got there, but clearly parents are outraged and they're pushing back.
I did learn about like reproductive. We did a reproductive thing. So they showed us a video.
When you were 8?
No.
When I was like
no, it's way more than
grade.
that.
Okay.
Now they're like telling you it's like if you are, they're like teaching people like, okay, well if you're gay, then you're gay, and you should let your mom and dad know that you're gay. But like, how do you really know type of thing?
I see for that
So
kind
that's
of
the
thing.
type of thing
There's
that
a
they're
lot
teaching them.
of. There's
I
a
mean,
lot of. I know a
And,
lot
like,
of kids.
cross dressing and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I grew up with a lot of boys that were like, you know, they came out as adults, but they told me like, from when the day I was born, I knew I was gay. And it was like obvious to some of us, so it's like.
Well, I mean, I would say though, like, let kids be kids though. Don't dump all that stuff on kids.
I
like,
agree.
let
Don't
kids be
pressure them.
kids. Let kids discover themselves. Let kids find. And then when they're fucking in college and grown and are developed enough where they can make life-altering decisions, fine. But don't push that shit on kids.
But it just sucks for those that are that and they don't feel comfortable telling.
Yeah,
you.
that's kind of messed up.
And let's define what we're speaking about here as far as putting on kids, because I think that there should be a system of
There's a
protections and age-appropriate expectations. And what I mean by that, as far as I know, and you know, I'm just somebody who happens to work in the school district, no one is teaching like 8-year-olds the mechanics of the birds and the bees. At the most, what you'll get is some sort of assembly, usually with like a health professional who will say like, these are your no-no parts, no one should be touching your no-no parts. And why should schools be allowed to do this kind of thing? Because sometimes you have parents and guardians who, and this happened to my father, an uncle did this to him and said, I'm not going to repeat any of the specifics, but he was touched and told that it was right. This is how you do this.
That's what's important.
And what you do is if you have, a neutral party, just say, look, no parts, somebody messing with those, you tell a responsible adult that isn't that person, and then you have horrifying stories where like, daughters are coming up with child because
whatever
a son or uncle have done something wrong, and like that's not okay. So there should be something implemented to protect kids in some cases even from their own families. And I hate to say that, but not every family is as we would like them to be. But
wacky ass
it's weird stuff. So
that's where I do see is like, let's let them know what's wrong. And the one that I remember when I was 9 years old, my parents did sign a permission slip just to show us about how where babies come from,
right? Now,
how it's done. Like
but they weren't giving that to you at 8 years old. They were giving that presentation when you were older. And there goes with the age appropriate expectations. I'll give you a great example, right? At Kennedy, where I work, there used to be a daycare center for teenage moms, but as of, I think, 2009, since the health center moved in where they teach a lot of these things and they're passing out protective measures, we've replaced the need to have a daycare for teenage moms with safety. And that to me is powerful.
Yeah, that's a high school though.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about stuff that's happening in like grade schools.
Right. And like,
and that's where people are getting outraged.
And I addressed that earlier with should be allowed to tell someone like, hey, someone's doing this to you.
But when you like, I know I've shared with you guys in the group chat some stories where schools and teachers are taking things way too far and they're crossing lines and they think it's okay, and parents are finding out about this this shit after the fact. Like, wait a minute, your teacher told you what? Wait, they've been teaching you what? Hold on a sec. That's not okay.
Yeah, when they're in grade school, I don't think like you should be teaching them that. When they're in, I think like when you're like in middle school, high school,
Like the
then
more
you could
adult-
know.
more adults.
Yeah, like the more adult
Yeah. You shouldn't be
become,
learning about
Age-
S&M.
then you're-
Age-appropriate
I feel like
expectations.
when you're like in middle school, high school, then at that point, like you kind of know who you are. I feel like you should know kind of who you are a little bit more.
And they should just
then,
make it like
you
so you
know,
feel comfortable being
yeah.
who you are.
Yeah.
At that, especially in high school. Like
Especially,
that's
yeah.
different than like elementary. I don't know.
Because I feel like when you're like 12 and up, you kind of already know
yeah.
like how things work and how things are.
Especially because your friends are gonna fucking show you all that.
But
shit.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then like, but when you're like younger than 12, then you kind of don't know. You're kind of like, I feel like at that point, like you're super, super innocent.
And
So
I
then
think
you're
that-
more gullible to like
Yeah.
believing the bullshit that like people feed you.
Right, and I think that's why like at 12 is especially more important because that's when a lot of people.
Try to, yeah.
Because that's the thing is kids are impressionable, and you have to be careful what you're exposing your kids to and what you're teaching your kids, because that will have like long-term ramifications down the road. And that's why parents are like, well, hold on a second. Well, who's decided this was okay all of a sudden?
And I'll tell you, true, to address the whole, and I'm pretty sure that the Don't Say Gay bill in Florida has a whole lot more to it than this, but I think for simplicity's sake, my ideal moment, like if I'm got a kindergarten or a first grade class, and with every occasion there's story time for these grade levels. You read a book to your kids for 15 minutes or so. And let's say since these books are geared for children, there's a mommy and daddy character. I'm pretty sure there's tons of books where mom and dad do a thing. And kids like to say things.
Strange noises coming from mom and dad's room.
So you have one kid say something like, so you
I'm not
have
here, guys, don't worry.
So you have one kid say something like, I have two dads. Is that weird?
Oh, yeah.
And then you have other kids going, that is weird. So you want to do two things. One, in that moment, keep that kid from being bullied the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And two, you want to do that by teaching some level of tolerance. So you put on your Mr. Rogers hat and you say, well, I'll have you know, little Timmy, that families are different. Some families have single parent homes where only uncle takes care of you, or auntie takes care of you, or your grandparents take care of you. And some people even have two dads and two mommies. And you know what? The most important thing is that you're loved and cared for. Yeah. And then you give everybody snack and you move on to the next thing.
That's not what's going to happen when those kids that are raised in like, you shouldn't be gay, whatever.
Right.
You hear that?
But my job is to keep my job is to keep the peace in the classroom.
No, for sure.
First
I get
of
that.
all. Second of all is the learning.
But what happens at like outside of that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, you're right. And I have no control of that. I can only.
What's that?
I was telling Caitlin. I was like, well, what do you think, Caitlin?
Yeah, what do you think, Caitlin? You're the child.
Because you're the one that's learning all this stuff in school. So like, do you think that some things are too much and you're just like, don't want to hear about that yet. I'm not ready for that.
50 questions in a row.
Got it.
Right.
No, for real though. Like, because you never know. Some kids don't want to hear that stuff. They're just like,
it makes them uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable. Like, especially when you're around other people. It's better with parents than like a teacher.
Yeah.
Because if you're just a teacher, you don't really know them. You know them as your teacher.
And it's weird when your teacher tells you about all that shit. Mm-hmm. Right. I remember I couldn't look my teacher in the eye after she told me that.
And thank goodness we have partnered with the doggone hospitals to bring in nurses.
That's what our sexual whatever it was done by
your English
nurses.
teacher should not be teaching you about the birds and the bees.
You gotta go
in like 3 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Any last words about Phil?
Just be careful what he says.
Okay.
And don't take anything he says.
I know he
seriously.
he likes to say
because he's
stuff on purpose to.
He just likes to irritate the fuck out of us.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
That. And it's okay to have a different opinion, but I know sometimes.
No, he reminds me of my dad because my dad does the same shit.
And that's why they get along.
Yeah, my dad thinks it's fucking hilarious, and I'm like, both of you guys shut the fuck up.
There were times where we'd be at her dad's house and we'd be arguing because that's what we do.
Yeah.
And then like her dad would start laughing and she'd get mad, like, don't take his side, and her dad would be like, he's right.
No.
It's true.
Oh man.
You end up with your parents. That's what they say.
Yeah, but I'm nothing like his mom though.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like I'm nothing like his mom though.
I'm scared now.
Yeah.
I'm really scared.
I'm really scared now, Phil.
It's like,
What the
I
hell?
feel like I'm
I've never looked at
I feel
his
like
face like
I
that.
feel like I'm more like his grandma.
Okay, see,
Like,
you saw you. Yeah.
like I'll giggle at some of the bullshit, and then like I realize, what the fuck did I just giggle about? Yeah, wait a minute, that's not right. Like, why
See,
did I laugh about that?
I knew
you
he
had that
was,
Will Smith
Yeah, yeah,
moment.
yeah.
I knew he.
wait.
I knew he.
Yeah, that's
I knew he was a
basically what
little
it was.
different when he was showing me his puppet,
Oh, Corey or whatever his fucking name is.
and he was talking about it
That's
like
right. It's cool.
he was talking about it like it was a living child. I'm like, oh, so he's crazy.
He's
Got
fucking
it.
crazy.
No, it's a joke. It's
I know it's a
you
joke,
guys
though.
misunderstand. I know you know. I'm sorry. For the listeners at home,
Rico, you want to add in on this? The roast of Phil. Yeah, that's what we
there's
got.
nothing
got.
wrong with Corey Felters. Okay, he's a grand addition to Frosted
Very
Mini
nice
Fish.
man.
We've been married to Rigo for just as long. See, because I told you, like we've known
It's
each
just
other
big-
for long.
it's
It's been
just
like
big, like,
20
cult.
something years.
We're
Yeah.
Mormons.
You're like Mormons.
Yeah.
There's only one wife, and then there's all these husbands. the reverse Mormon.
No,
That happened one year.
That happened 1 year. Okay, so there was 1 year. It was fucking it was Valentine's Day, right?
You poor child.
No, and like I was
listening all
the
crazy.
only girl, and there was 7 dudes.
Oh,
and
yeah, I
then
heard this
there was
story
like
before.
it was Phil and whatchamacallit, Phil and Carlos. Jerry was there.
There's a Jerry.
There was Jerry. And,
There used to be.
There used to be, and then
got kicked
Martin
out.
was there.
We wrote him off the
They kind of wrote him
series.
off.
You give
There
him
was,
his flower.
but anyways, there was 7 of them, and this fucking lady at the restaurant. I swear to God, she probably thought I was like riding the train or some shit, because she gave me like fucking dirty looks.
You lucky bitch.
Like she was just like, what the fuck? And then I was like, Phil, and she was like, she don't know, and I was like, don't do that.
Oh, dang.
I was like, I'm not doing shit. So like, just to like make it
You should've
seem
said
like
you-
I was with someone, I just like kept on holding on to Phil, like as if
You should've
we
said-
were together. But
I
we
should have
weren't
said
at the
these are
time.
all my husbands.
In the writing business, we call that foreshadowing.
Well, because we went to one restaurant and it was like full, and then Carlos was like, I don't know why they're so busy, and we're like, it's Valentine's Day.
Oh, you guys were 7 dudes.
It
and
was
one girl
a
on Valentine's Day?
barbecue place, right? Or
Yeah, we
was it-
ended up,
Yeah, we went to Black Angus, and Carlos was like, "Why is it so busy on a Thursday?" And we all looked at him like, "It's Valentine's."
Okay, now
Day."
that makes
And he was like, "It's Valentine's Day."
now that makes it weird.
So then we went across the bridge to back 40.
Now that makes it weirder. 7 dudes, 1 chick on Valentine's Day.
That's a joke. That's the setup
That's a
for a
joke.
joke
Yeah,
waiting
yeah.
to
I
happen.
got you what you really wanted, babe. 6 other dudes.
I know, that's,
Happy.
You can laugh. She went home with me that night.
I know. I'm just saying. Like, imagine being a waiter at that table. You know, which
Hey,
is what
like-
you said. And you're like,
that's why she kept giving me like fucking dirty
she's
looks.
like, you
I'm
lucky bitch.
She probably was like, yeah, something. She was pissed.
I'm sorry for all my language and everyone else's.
Kayla knows what's up.
She
I
knows
live with them.
She's like, I live with them.
Blink twice if you need help.
It's not terrible. It's not terrible living with us, though, is it?
No.
How is it living with these 2 knuckleheads?
It's pure entertainment every day.
Free comedy show right at their house.
Have you ever?
See, I told you. See, that's the thing. Like, we're more sitcom funny than we are like funny.
Yeah, that's what he
Yeah.
says.
Like,
So it's like a sitcom.
yeah.
You never feel threatened for your life.
It's
It
like
never gets too.
everybody loves
No.
Raymond.
It never gets too aggressive. You're not
No.
scarred. You don't have trauma. Right?
Yeah. It's,
No, there's
She's like-
there's been a few times though. Then like the
CPS
shit-
is watching. Watch what you say.
no, like where like the arguments have gotten hella serious.
yeah.
But like in the end though, we always say we're sorry. So I guess that's like the good thing, you know.
Oh.
But like
I've heard of
the
it.
way
It's
that
called abuse.
the way that Phil tries to fucking fix shit though sometimes when it's hella serious.
Hold on.
And so buy like gifts, which is weird.
That's called abuse.
know.
Manipulation is when you just apologize at the end.
And you come home with
Sorry.
flowers and a gift for the wife.
Yeah.
It's actually a TV trope.
See, I told you that's a sitcom thing.
That is a sitcom. But
It's very sweet.
It's okay. All right. But you guys are good for the most part.
Yeah, we have to be good. It's not like I can fucking return him.
You know how much rent is.
There's no grooms.
We can't afford to go nowhere.
That's what keeps the love
Yeah,
together.
that's the thing. So we'll get into argument, and then
Necessity.
he'll leave, and it's just like, see you in 20 minutes, baby.
These Bay Area rent prices keeping families together.
That is hella true.
Oh my gosh.
That is hella true, though. That is hella true. Poor Caitlin, she's like bored over there in the corner.
I know. What's it like being a kid these days? Again, I know we asked you that last.
Oh yeah, what are you doing this summer? Because you ain't doing nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, COVID's
you
back.
Just said I'm not
Surprise,
doing anything.
surprise.
Nothing.
I mean, it never left.
Well, you're doing nothing with me and Phil. Like the only thing you got going on is some cooking lessons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I got is cooking lessons.
But when the last time you were here, you were doing at-home school, right?
Yes.
And now you're back to school.
Yes.
And now, how's it like being back, like, in school? It sucks.
Pretty.
I'm pretty sure it sucks because all these school shootings again. Right after.
I mean, that's in Texas.
Yeah. Okay, that's true.
Well, I mean, your school has those gun-free zone signs up, so that's fine. You'll be okay.
Yeah, thanks.
As long as they have the signs up, no one with a gun can enter.
Exactly.
Because that's how gun control works. You put up the sign, and then you're fine.
Exactly.
It's encouraging students not to bring the guns.
No, see, that's the thing, though. That's what she said. She's like, oh, well, that's in Texas. She's implying, see, that all the people in Texas are crazy.
It's
true.
you know, it's just
Which
Or Oklahoma.
Let's be honest. They're no Florida, but
They're no Florida. Or
they're the
Oklahoma.
violent
no. But
Florida.
how's it like going back to school after a year or 2 years of not school? Like,
It's pretty normal. On the first day of school, I decided to sit with one of my friends. He moved from that class. Yeah.
yeah, it's class. That's how you
He
say
moved. And like, so
Took 2
my
years
friend,
off.
my other friend that I met in like first grade, he was at another table full of girls. I was in another table full of guys. I thought it was weird because the next day I decided to sit with him, and he was just like, "Why didn't you sit with me on the first day of school?" I was just like, "I don't know. You didn't ask me to. What else am I supposed to do?"
I love it.
Were you thinking about sitting with him at all? Did it
Not
cross your
really.
mind?
Did you guys
I mean,
argue?
No.
Did you argue like how me and Phil were?
guys
Like, why
argue?
didn't you sit next to me?
I
We
guess
can't argue.
You always bring up this sit next to me, this old argument of sitting next to me.
Okay, so
He
do you
was
think it's
expecting you
do you think it's weird when couples sit next to each other, or would you rather have them sit across from each other?
I'm a cross person.
I think it's weird when they sit like next to each other. I saw this couple at a restaurant sitting next to each other on the same side, holding hands while they were eating. I was like, I hope they. I mean, I don't wish this, but in my head at that moment, I was like, I hope they crash on their way home.
Oh, you're an ass.
well, they
not. I hope they survive. You know, I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
like, really, like that's so
it
tacky.
looks well. You know, they say that sitting next to a person when you're dating kind of actually helps the bonding process a little bit psychologically.
Okay,
Like
so
that's-
this is how
I can't
this is how
talk to them
fucking
when they're
fat
next
me and
to
Phil.
me.
are.
I read a thing. Okay.
Listen.
All right,
So
whatever.
like, me and Phil, for the most part, we'll sit across from each other.
Yeah.
But if we know we're gonna order a shit ton of food, we like sit
Yeah.
next to each other. So then that way we could just push all our dirty fucking plates to the other side, and then they could collect
I
it.
get.
So I'll say this: when you're sitting across from someone, when you're dating them, I'm not a very good conversationalist. I run out of shit to say.
Yeah, you do.
When there's that awkward silence, you two are just staring at each other, waiting for someone to say something, and
If
it's
you really like that
uncomfortable.
person, that won't be a problem.
But if you're sitting next to them, then you don't have that, oh, I'm just staring at this person waiting for someone to say something. And then it's also easier to kind of flirt when you're sitting next to them because you can do hand stuff, you can do the hand on the knee, pretend to yawn, you know, the
Phil,
classics.
that's some high school shit. What are you talking about? You can flirt with them in front of you. Flirt with her right now.
We're married, we don't really...
We're married.
Oh,
now.
married people don't flirt?
Well,
Our idea of flirting is, guess who did the dishes?
No, for real though.
That's when Caitlin puts her headphones on.
That's why Kayla's laughing is because, it was actually yesterday. Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah.
Or the day before yesterday. He was like, I came home and like the fucking place is all clean, and he was like, babe, I did laundry. I even did the dishes. Oh,
That
and I
is-
cleaned the bathroom, and I was like, wait a minute, that is a fucking lie. And then Caitlin was like, yeah, I cleaned it. He didn't do it. I did. But then he was like, aren't you happy? It's a clean place. And I was like, sure. Fucking, you probably got off your ass and you cleaned the fucking house. What do you do? You want to
It's a showing of love. I get it, but you don't flirt anymore. Like at aside, I mean, I don't want to.
I don't think she likes me that much.
I mean, she married.
Well, because like he does. He's.
Well, I wonder why you're talking about you're with her because of rent.
Because like, okay, so like he's weird about shit.
Okay.
Like the way he goes about it, like the execution of it is like. Don't fucking do that because you look fucking stupid. Like that's some shit like some high school kid or some middle school would try to do if they like someone. Like, dude, we're already married. Like, just if you're gonna do it, fucking just do it.
Right.
Like, don't be fucking creepy and be like
don't be cheesy.
Yeah, hey. And then try to hold my hand. Like, what the fuck? Just if you're gonna fucking hold my hand, fucking grab my fucking hand.
I mean,
take charge, Phil.
He has a gentle
assert dominance.
Yeah.
No. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie though. Like, you know, sometimes I kind of want that though.
Oh,
you know?
shit.
But he doesn't do that. Like he's not aggressive.
Like, so you want aggressiveness?
Sometimes I do because I'm fucking. Because that's the
Mute
thing.
your headphones for
that's
for
because
a second.
everything else, like as far as like work and like everything else in my life, like I'm in control of that.
So you want? See, we just talked about this recently.
So like,
remember with,
at the end of the day, when you're with someone, you kind of want them to
take charge.
Yeah, but he's fucking weird, and the way he goes about shit is fucking weird.
It's just with the way the world's going, you don't want to catch a case, even though it's your wife.
You don't want to catch a case,
right?
Yeah, it's like you. Me too. First ever like wife, me too, and the husband.
It could happen. I'm obviously joking, but like,
I mean, if you're a fucking bitch to your fucking dude, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, we've seen the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp court proceedings. Like,
He's laughing at that shit.
You shit in the bed.
Well, it's like I showed you that meme where it's like, believe all women. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
So so that's where. I mean, you guys talk about this, right?
Yeah, we
hope this isn't like a thing like that's just coming out now.
Yeah,
where Phil's sitting there like, well, I've never heard this before.
No, we definitely joke around about other people's relationships.
No, I'm talking about yours, fool.
And ours? Yeah, we do too.
Okay. Well,
you do?
I don't know what to add to that. That is a lot of that's a lot of information. So I guess you'll be taking charge now, right, Phil?
Well,
be a little bit more aggressive.
Well, the problem is I try, and then she'll push me away. She's like, ugh, get away from me.
Because I told you the way he goes about it is fucking weird. Like he's like slow at it. I don't know.
Oh,
he has a gentle approach.
He's gentle about it first. Like, can I?
Yeah, like fucking don't ask. Just fucking do it.
You gotta preheat the oven before you stick in the turkey.
The oven was already heated when you got married.
Yeah, that's true. That's all true.
Rico's out there.
Oh, the metaphors. Man.
She said yes. God damn it.
I told him if he fucking starts being weird, I'm gonna buy him a Sheila.
A what?
He knows what it is.
Oh.
You know that I have to say anything? Yeah. That'll be the second wife.
Yeah.
Would you like that? I get all our listeners to.
No, I would not. That's grounds for divorce.
That's grounds for divorce. Wow.
For when you have to go to Washington again.
Keep you honest.
I can't. I gotta go to work now.
Love you, Mom.
All right, so the theme of today is just be more aggressive.
I guess
the oven's already heated, man.
I guess
it's
it's
a fryer at this point.
So here's what I would say. My hope, and then I'm gonna ask you this, Caitlin. My hope is that I'm at least setting an example for you, so of like what a healthy relationship looks like, how to resolve conflicts, how to be affectionate to someone. And
I can't tell if you guys have a healthy relationship sometimes.
God damn. Caitlin.
From the mouths of babes.
A healthy example of what not to say during an argument. Right?
You guys say a lot of things.
I love you too.
Love you too, Mom.
All right, look, I'll use a wrestling metaphor, okay? Sometimes I'm Hulkamania Hulk Hogan. Sometimes I'm NWO Hollywood Hogan. I'm either showing you what to do or showing you what not to do.
You just kind of have to figure out for yourself which of those it is.
Bye, Mom. My dad might
Bye, Mom.
Later.
Yeah,
There's just one part in their argument when they're arguing is there one part when they say they're broke. They have this like one joke where what Phil says is like, we're so broke, blah 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 blah.
I'll be like, we're so broke, can't afford to pay attention, or can't hear you over the sound of me paying all your bills for you.
Yeah, those are the funny ones, but you say it like funnily weird. Like, we're so broke, we can't even.
Well, because your mom will threaten to leave. Like, where are you going to go? I pay all your bills.
Jesus Christ, Phil. Jesus Christ. What do you think?
He's known them for too long. He gave it up.
I honestly am like Caitlin. I am not qualified to discern whether or not their relationship is healthy.
What is healthy? Not this. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Okay, look, I don't know if we have a healthy relationship. Maybe it's a husky relationship.
Yeah. Which is fine. Like, no relationships are healthy, like, all the way.
Well, no relationship is perfect, but there are definitely healthy ways to deal with a lot of things.
That's true.
Healthy and perfect ain't the same. It's really not.
Yeah.
Speaking of perfect, Tomorrow's June has a new song out, if anybody's curious. It's streaming on Spotify right now. I know Caitlin's a big Tomorrow's June fan.
Yeah, you can't play it, though, because then we'll get blocked on here.
Yeah.
There's copyrights.
Yep. Even though.
Is he a copywriter?
Yeah.
Dang.
No.
Because even Flacco's music got us almost banned on the episode, right?
I don't think Flacco's did.
No.
Well, no, not banned, but like the music. Remember, we had to ask for permission and shit. It's weird.
Oh yeah. Well, it's because Flacco has a label, and it was like an automatic thing for the movie we made. That was the movie we made because we used Flacco's music.
For the 100th episode too.
Well, yeah, that's right, in the 100th episode too, which was also in the movie.
I didn't know that if you put YouTube music on YouTube, if you don't want to get permission for it, you just can't get monetize the episode.
It depends. Sometimes they'll demonetize it. Sometimes they'll say, well, your video is not going to be viewable in these countries. Sometimes they'll just flat out take your video down.
Really?
Yeah, it all depends. There's no like system. It's just kind of whatever they feel like.
Well, yeah, that's the truth.
Aside from that,
Don't mind me just listening to Say Hey Yo by Tomorrow's June.
Hey, but you can cover a song.
No, you can't cover a song.
You can definitely cover a song.
And I'm sure someday Marcos will let me make a music video for them. Eventually, someday.
He doesn't trust
maybe.
you.
I'm only an award-winning filmmaker, so I don't know what he's got to, where the trust issues are coming from.
Honestly, IOP video definitely should have done that.
But it's okay. I'm looking forward to his next video with all the crossfades and nothing but Marcos in it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure it'll be great.
Wow.
Jesus Christ, man. That's our buddy you're talking about.
Oh, he's not attacking him. He's just talking about he's talking about the director of the other video.
No, he's talking.
Not even that. I'm just talking about the final product. Like I looked at the last two Tomorrow's June videos, and I was like, really?
See, you
didn't want to come to me,
the songs
really?
are amazing.
Hold on.
Songs are
You see what they were just talking about? That you just talk out of your ass sometimes.
The songs are
You
amazing.
see what we're talking about?
This is why we have the disclaimer.
All
He has to wear the shirt. That's how bad it is.
All Phil is saying is,
Okay.
next time you have a music video, holler at IOP Video.
No, I know. I'm giving him a hard time, but I want to go back to Phil as an example. What's Phil a good example of? Come on, just give me something. Don't look at him. Just think. It's got to be at the tip of your tongue.
An example of something?
Yes, we just asked.
What do you mean by that?
Like a good example, like he's
Tell us a story.
yeah.
I mean, I'm a good dad, aren't I?
I'm kidding. Okay, so I have this one story. This was literally like yesterday. Okay. So he's been owing me 2 days of froyo. So he took me to a froyo place.
Monster.
He took me to a froyo place, and I got the biggest cup. You know how fast I finished that? How fast did I eat it?
Well, so she got like a gallon-sized froyo. It was like the big gulps of froyo.
Oh, Jesus.
And she put it away in like 7 minutes.
Wow.
No.
He didn't even finish his.
No.
He wasn't even halfway.
Well, you're younger. Your metabolism's burning.
That's what I said. It's metabolism.
So that's a good example. Is he doesn't eat sugars that fast.
Yeah.
Or maybe the lesson we're supposed to take away here is that like he probably would have done better from a smaller size.
He keeps Well, he keeps his word. He keeps his word.
He keeps his word.
That is true.
And I'm also loving and supportive, and I try and do right by you.
It has to come out of her naturally. You can't be.
Yeah, you can't be influencing the child.
Yeah. He's like, right. She's like, right.
Right, yeah.
Sorry, I was doing my impression of a Democratic teacher. My bad.
Oh.
Does that get annoying after a while?
Yes.
Like blaming everything on the Democrats?
Yeah. Let me why do girls have big pockets?
Hold on. You see right now, like I asked her like to say something. She's like, hey, yeah. Then I asked her, is he blame everything on them? It's like, yeah. She's like ready to.
He's been waiting.
It's like a dog when you're ready to let them out to go pee, like the tail's hella wagging. You see, he's like, sure.
She's like,
I have this problem.
I have a platform.
No, I'm talking about
I have this social problem.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, like,
Yeah.
Okay, but go ahead and give it as an example of that, of something that's the Democrat's fault that he caused at home.
All right. So sometimes it'll just be random. Like if I say, why do girls have like small pockets? And it'll be like, well, it all started when they voted Democrats. And I'm just done with that already. I finished it. I'm finished with
Which
that.
is Phil's way of saying, I don't know why.
I don't know. And he doesn't know anything.
He knows a lot. He knows a lot.
But you may be right.
I'm kidding, Phil.
I just want you to, when you're at that age where you can vote, I just want you to be informed and just know what's out there and know how people really are. I mean, Joe Biden fell off his bike going 0.
Yeah, no.
So you might want to be careful who you vote for.
He's also an old man.
He forgot where he was for a second and
he's not
at his age, he could probably smoke all of us in a bike race.
You sure? He fell.
Yeah, but he was.
People are suggesting training wheels.
No, yeah. When's the last time you got on a bike, Phil? I don't know why I'm.
Well, so like, for example, like we just had the local elections recently, like a couple weeks ago, right? Mm-hmm. And I told Caitlin, like, I have 2 rules when I vote: no Democrats and nobody over 60. Because how is anybody supposed to make policies about how I live my life when they remember when you can get a slice of pie for a nickel? So if you're over 60, fuck you, I'm not voting for you. If you're a Democrat, fuck you, look what you did to California, I'm not voting for you. If Democrats are the only option, I'll write somebody else in.
Disclaimer, guys. Remember the disclaimer.
There goes all your candidates though. Over 60, that eliminates the Republicans too.
I would hope that the person over 60 would work hard to make burgers cost a nickel.
You know what's gonna be the solution?
They remember how good that was. Like, let's bring that back.
We need someone as a president who was like super into anime as a kid.
Interesting.
Those guys are passionate. They're fucking
I guess I'm running for president.
You should.
Yes, you should.
I would vote for you over a lot of other people right now.
And run as an independent. It'll make Phil proud, and he'll probably vote for you then.
And then switch to Democrat.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I'm Democrat.
The minute he pisses you off.
You can't just take off your shirt revealing the NWO underneath. that only works in wrestling, okay? Oh my God, she took off the independent. New World Order, the betrayal.
Look, Look, here's the issue. Because I'm trying to think of the way to word this.
Okay.
I'm trying to prepare you for the world because the world's a cold, cruel, unforgiving place.
Yes.
I realize that.
And a lot of people now give out participation trophies and safe spaces, and people have really thick skin, and they can't handle even the littlest bit of failure. And we're kind of failing to prepare them for the world because of that. I don't want that to happen to you. So I'm not going to give you any participation trophies. I don't want you to have any safe spaces. I want you to have thick enough skin where you can meet failure and defeat, and it's not the end of the fucking world. You can just dust off your shoulders and walk it off like you're supposed to.
I do that a lot.
Exactly. So that means I'm doing my job as a parent.
Who gives off participation trophies right now?
Well, don't schools
everything's so expensive. You can't even pay for shit. Who the fuck is going somewhere for part? Who can afford to go somewhere that gives out trophies?
Honestly, I think people take defeat really well in this country when you consider, like, over in Japan, where they have those entry exams into like the next levels of their classes, or when they're leaving high school going to college. You don't do well on that test, there's no do-overs, there's no college entry level for you. A bunch of people actually kill themselves. these, no one
knuckleheads-
over here is killing themselves over an F. They're
These
like, okay.
failures and
They get upset, but they're not killing themselves.
Yeah, the failure is highly accepted here.
Yeah, I think
Highly accepted.
I think people adjust well to failure. They just don't adjust well to disagreement.
There's an abundance of failure in this country right now. So I'm not saying I don't agree with you on that, but like I think failure is totally like not. It's not. We're not in the 80s no more, where like that kind of shit started.
Yeah,
I think, right?
90s. The participation trophies. That's the 90s.
Because this is a different world we're at right now.
Yeah. And it's people our age running it and older, know. I will say, I think.
But then again, we don't know.
It's like, did you guys see that movie Senior Year with Rebel Wilson?
Oh yeah, that was a good movie.
We watched that. Like the fucking cheerleader captain gets a concussion. She's unconscious for 20 years. Wakes up, goes back to fucking school, right? And the school's all like politically correct now. Like the lunchroom, there's just one long table that everybody sits in because that way there's no popular kids table. Everybody sits at the same table. So everybody's at the popular kids table. And then she tries out for cheerleading captain, and everybody's a captain. It promotes equality. Everybody's a cheer captain. And so like that kind of shit I'm trying to protect you from, because that's fucking destroying a generation of kids.
Can I just say this?
Go ahead.
That's a fucking movie, bro.
Yeah.
Right, but it's based off of real life.
It's real.
Here's what's interesting. We didn't at my. I don't know what it was like at De Anza. I do know what it was like in El Cerrito because I've had many conversations with people about that across the pond. At Kennedy, we didn't really have the dichotomy of like that, the whole stereotypical like, well, here's your jocks and they're on top of we had jocks, but everyone was kind of cool with everyone. And I think it's because we were the little school that sort of could, in the face of adversity, we sort of banded together. However, it was a nerd. I used to think, and I was a bit of an oddball myself, but there was still some level of camaraderie. High school oddball. An adult, you're an eccentric. As a kid, you're a weirdo. But what I was going to... Oh, yeah, no. There was a moment where my friend was sitting next to a student from El Cerrito High, because there's an after-school computer tech program. And the student from El Cerrito High made a comment, because he was a junior. You have sophomores and freshmen in your friend group? Ew. And then he was like, well... Yeah, and then it clicked. It's like, oh, y'all are movie high school over there, huh? Where it's like the jocks and the social class systems that get built up. And I think that's interesting. I want to figure out why is it that it's that way in some spaces and that way and not that way in others. But I said all that to say it is entirely possible for people to kind of mix and blend without there being that social hierarchy.
No, totally. I get that. I'm more like I don't like the idea that we're eliminating competition on the grounds of equality. Oh, well, everyone's a winner, because if we have losers, that hurts their self-esteem, because it's like learning how to win humbly and gracefully is just as important as learning how to lose and how to deal with defeat. And by giving everyone a trophy and saying everybody's equal, oh, we don't want to hurt this kid's self-esteem, oh, competition is just going to be more detrimental. No, you're not preparing these kids for the world, and by coddling them like this, you're creating a generation of soft kids who now can't deal with failure, can't deal with rejection, can't deal with defeat, and they're going to be overwhelmed. The littlest thing happens and they're going to go shoot up a fucking school because they know how to deal with defeat and all the shit. Like, that's what I have an issue with, is where it's like, oh, we want to eliminate competition because it's harmful to a kid's self-esteem. No, it's not. They need those skills in order for them to grow and develop and be able to handle the world, because the world is a cold, cruel, unforgiving place. Nobody fucking gives a damn about you in this world other than you and your close circle of friends. You need to be prepared for that and be able to dust off your shoulders and say, well, walk it off.
Indeed.
And I don't think schools are doing that anymore. They're not preparing kids for the real world, and I'm seeing that, and I'm trying to protect you from that.
Here's my thing. Because
you're the guest.
Thank you. So my school definitely doesn't do that. Like when in elementary, like they definitely didn't do that. They didn't care about winners or losers. It was just straight up like we had a basketball game against teachers, and
they murdered you guys.
I mean, by a couple points.
Oh, okay.
See, my thing though is like I'm a kid. Well, here's this thing. Like I'm a kid though. Everyone gets a trophy. There are no winners and losers. Why should I try my best? I'm gonna get the same trophy as this person. So why push myself? Why push myself to be the best I can be if I'm gonna get the same fucking trophy as this kid? Like why try at that point?
I don't think I've
never got.
Going back to what you said, let them be kids. Is so they can have fun. That's the only way I would say, which takes it to because that's what. Like I get where you're coming from, but also like just fucking play to have fun.
Yes,
because like especially in games, like let them be kids.
Yeah, I mean, there's some parents that
get beaten. That's fine.
There's some parents that put all of this pressure
and that breaks
on their kids,
and that'll break them just as much to do the horrible crimes as
because the parents are like, you're going to be a professional someday. This is like our ticket right here. You didn't win. There's no soup for you. Fuck ice cream. Excuse my language. Yeah. But it's just one of those things where like.
Let them have fun.
Let them have fun, and I think I've never gotten a participation trophy in my entire life. I've had trophies. I've never seen a participation trophy given out in any of the schools I've worked at over the years of my after-school ventures and at Kennedy. Like, you earn your awards. I will say that there's definitely an attitude of like everyone should participate and everyone should have fun, but we're definitely going to honor the winner. There's it does feel great when you win, but winning isn't everything. And matter of fact, you learn more from losing.
Yeah.
You learn more from losing.
Exactly, and that's what I was saying. You have to prepare kids for that. Like when you play in team sports, it's also about fun. It's also about learning how to work together on a team, depend on other people. Not just about you. It's about the whole team you're on, and it's also about learning how to lose and learning how to win. And that's why, like, I want to make sure that doesn't get taken away from you, kiddo. I want to make sure you're prepared for this world the best I can.
I mean, to be fair, I've really never had a participation
trophy.
Good. Those Benicia school districts are doing their job.
It's funny that you say that. We're actually giving you one right now for participants. I'm just kidding.
I will throw my phone at you.
Oh my God. All right. Sorry. There's other issues you got to work with her. You see the violence?
She gets that from her mom.
Says the man who threw chairs for fun. People, okay. I mean, that was choreographed.
Jumped off roof.
That was choreographed.
But
violence,
you've never felt
That's
that.
different.
You've never felt like you've gotten a participation trophy for something.
I hate those. Those are just.
But you say you never got one.
Yeah, I've never got one.
Oh, okay.
But it's still like I'm gonna act like I didn't see that. Don't worry.
What are you talking about, for real?
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about?
Uncle Rigo passed by and he just shimmied.
Oh yeah, we have Rigo here today.
Our sponsor.
Yeah.
Shimmied.
So, that's your participation award.
Even if I haven't got one, I think they're obviously dumb.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know why they do that though? Because a lot of the parents pay for
them to lose, but
no, they pay for
their involvement.
For their involvement, so it's like, here, you were there.
It's more for the adult than for the child. Yeah.
Mediocrity is never gonna go away, man.
Clearly, look at our current regime.
Yeah. I agree.
We ran out of things to say, have we?
We ran out of things to say. I think that's we're at an hour now, right?
Yeah, we're at an hour.
I need to stretch my legs. Caitlin, take us away. Tell any last closing thoughts. This was a very eventful show.
Don't trust your children.
That's interesting.
That is a great one to leave it on.
That's out of left.
Based on everything that's happened in the world, that's pretty fair.
Don't trust your children.
Don't trust your children. You got anything to add to that, Phil? Defend yourself. Defend yourself with everything that happened today. What's your closing thoughts?
He sucks.
You got reamed today, bro.
I'm married. That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I think as long as as long as everybody talks out their differences, everybody has an open mind, and people stop voting Democrat, I think the world's gonna be a better place.
Rigo, you got something to add to that? I can't hear you.
He said brush your teeth every day.
Come, just introduce yourself real quick to the. Just come here and just say hi real quick.
Sponsor.
We're about to close out. And ladies and gentlemen, give it up to our sponsor, Rigo. AKA
headphones and
DJ Vlad 10 years ago.
We the best.
You know DJ Vlad?
Yeah.
He kind of when he had a beard. When he had a beard. What's up, Rigo?
What up? How's it going?
Good, good. We're closing out this episode, man, and I just wanted to.
It's weird to hear myself. That's all.
Yeah,
It is weird. Anything you got to add to Phil's roast today? I didn't really think it was gonna be like this.
He needs to bring the shower days a little closer together.
Oh.
Maybe throw in a reapply day. But I ain't got much because we go to the same barber. So
Okay, yeah. You guys I was almost gonna ask, oh, where?
I learned something new just now.
Hopefully, it doesn't charge much.
no, don't charge much.
Hey, just real quick, tell the people where they can contact you for the. I mean, we say it on the thing, but like
Oh yeah. Get us online. Email is always the best. info@bigboyraps.com.
Big Boys is what?
Big Boy Raps, that's our sponsor.
No. Say it. Where the what?
Where the big boys play.
That's right.
That's right. Hey, thank you for having us here again. I just want to say it on air since we're here. You're here. You've never been here.
Oh yeah, you're welcome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah.
I love having you guys here still too.
Oh man, I wish I could live here. I actually am looking for a spot. It's alright if I sleep on the couch while you guys are not here.
Maybe there's a bathroom and
Just keep it
fridge.
clean. And don't come out as long as you're not sleeping in the recycle bin. You're
No. Any last words from you guys?
I love when he came in and just threw his stuff all over.
I saw that. I was aggressive. See, that's what you need. You need to add more aggression to your life like that, man.
That was useless. I didn't need
Don't be too aggressive, but be aggressive.
That's the theme. All right, you good? You good on that last word?
Yeah.
All right, man. Remember, everyone, be aggressive to your loved ones, and that's in the voice party. We're out.
that has got to been one of the most unique episodes.